So it's like that in Manchester. What Nick is fighting is not just uphill, it's uphill. But if you were to get in...
It's only uphill if the people who don't vote.
Exactly, because everyone else is like, well, my dad votes.
Because not even that, because the turnout at these elections, the last mayoral election, the turnout was 28%.
Well, we didn't want one, did we? We voted against it.
We voted against it, but we had to have one because the people of Greater Manchester don't know what's good for them.
No, we've got no idea.
So, you know, you're a simple folk. You know, you don't really know what's good for you, but we do because we're career politicians. So we asked you what you wanted and you told us, but we're going to give you what we're going to give you anyway.
We think you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Manchester's never been a hotbed of innovation.
Yeah. But if we have to have a mayor, let's get a doing mayor who will do something. Yeah. So people who are not voting, which is over 70% of the population of Greater Manchester, well, if you want a better mayor, if you all went out and voted, you could get whoever you wanted.
Oh yeah, I didn't say you didn't have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I got a very
to
slim
give people
chance.
an idea what it's like up here.
Yes.
I'm sure where everyone else lives, it's very much the same.
Yeah.
But you know how it is in these areas. Well, my dad voted Labour, my granddad voted Labour. Yeah. I just vote Labour.
Yeah, that is beginning to crumble.
It has to at some point. It's impossible. You can't have a democracy where there's only one party.
Yeah.
But let's say you get in.
Yep.
Okay, what date's the election?
6th of May.
So on the 7th of May,
yep,
you rock up at the town hall.
Yep.
What's the first thing you're going to do?
First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at rough sleeping. I'm going to finally end rough sleeping in Greater Manchester in the first year.
In the first year?
Big ask. And if I don't do it, I need sacking or I'll resign. Because we just can't. I'm not going to say the full term of 5 years because we're just pushing it off again.
Kicking
pushing
it down
it
the
off.
road,
if I can say the first year, that means the day I turn up at that office, that means me and my whole team and the whole infrastructure behind me all know where they stand. And if people aren't delivering on this, they'll be gone. Because I have to go at the end of 1 year if we don't deliver it. So I'm going to give myself some really tough targets. It's the only way to get things done. That's number one. Number two is we're going to look at Greater Manchester Police. Yes. What are you doing? No more dressing up as multicoloured bumblebees and joining...
Wasn't that about 80 grand a costume or something?
I think it was $1,000 or something.
No, it's a lot more. It was about a solid week's wage, wasn't it, on a costume? Yeah,
just so you can attend a Pride event. Police need to attend a Pride event for public order. But I don't want police officers dancing at festivals, at carnivals, at anything.
Be policemen.
I want police to be professional. So police will be shaving. You know, I'll be stopping police getting tattoos on their necks and their faces because it doesn't look professional. And every police officer will call every member of the public sir or madam. None of this, all right, mate, are you rolling around the floor with a criminal and you're calling them a muppet as you're trying to put the handcuffs on him? You're a public servant and we expect some decent customer service off you. We need to professionalise the police force. That will be my second priority there. We'll get police officers from behind desks, checking your tweets, getting them on the streets, arresting criminals, and we need to make a pledge, and the pledge is that we're going to end child rape. Because how I can sit here today and say we need to end child rape is absolutely astounding that I have to say that.
I was reading recently in some of the stuff that was sent to me about the cases that have been ignored in Greater Manchester of organised gangs.
Yep.
And hundreds of children.
Yes.
And it's just been...
ignored,
pushed away.
I've saved children from being raped and being sexually abused in my charity. We've got about a dozen cases that we've done. I know what it's like. I know. I've saved kids being groomed into criminal gangs who are not being sexually exploited. We need to put a clamp on this. We need to say no more.
I'm sure the police would love to be able to do that as well.
I've got police officers who I've worked and trained phoning me up saying...
The coppers don't want to see this slide.
No.
Not a chance. I've never met one yet that wouldn't have that.
How can we let down children in our society? It's just absolutely shocking. And the biggest shock was how Andy Burnham allowed the Chief Constable to resign. So you've been in post for 4 years, you're on a couple of 100,000, whatever you're on, and you're responsible for the police, responsible for these 80,000 crimes, responsible for child rape not going uninvestigated. And we're going to let you resign on your terms with full benefits and walk away as if nothing's happened. If you was in the public sector, you'd be sacked.
Oh,
sorry, the private sector. You would be sacked. And that's what I'll be looking at within GMP higher echelons, is who there needs sacking for incompetence and for wasting public money. And then we're going to be looking at that as well. I'm going to set up a hotline for anybody to report incompetence and waste of taxpayers' money within the public sector. So police, probation, NHS. If you work in Greater Manchester and you can see waste or incompetence, you report it, and we're going to highlight it. Because unless we learn from our mistakes, we repeat them. So in the private sector, if you make a mistake, it gets talked about.
Yeah.
And people learn from it and go, right, this went wrong in Oldham office, so make sure we don't do it in this office. In the public sector, you make a mistake at a council, and I've worked there when it's happened, and what happens is, shh, how do we hush this up?
What can we grandfather him into?
Yes. So you hush everything up, you don't learn from it, and everybody else makes the same mistakes. But I want to shine some daylight onto the organisations we fund as taxpayers.
I know it doesn't fall under the measure of some pretty heavy things you're going to get into.
I'm going to be very unpopular.
That's good.
With those organisations.
That's good. That's what they need right now. What can the mayor do on freedom of speech? What can the mayor do about that?
Set an example. That's all he can do. And that's what I will do. So I'm the sort of person anyway, is if you ask me a question, you're going to get a truthful answer off me. And this sounds awful, but I don't care if you like it or not. You've asked me a question. Here's my truthful answer. If you don't like it, that's on you. Don't ask me the question if you don't want the truth.
Yeah.
You're going to get an honest opinion off me. And that's all I can do as mayor, to champion free speech. Because it's under threat at the moment.
Massively.
And the biggest under threat part of it at the moment is self-censorship. The amount of people who want to say something but won't. So they're self-censoring, and that's a scary part. And if we go down this path, what's going to eventually happen is we're going to have somebody who comes along, who's a great orator, a great speaker, and he's going to start tapping into some of this resentment.
It's almost as if we've seen that happen before, isn't it?
Exactly.